Yep, rookie mistake, even I make them. Forgot to flush through the sand before I put the ashen layer on, the sort that doesn't burn on there. So basically we'll take up another bucket. You can use flywell or Ashen or whatever, put it in the bottom, doesn't matter, whatever. Go to spot colour because that's what I do. So I've made up some more, and well, whichever one, it's all the same basically. And just, keep putting it in basically. We'll do the same thing again, but this time we've got a watering can down there, and yeah, it's a combination of gas bagging too much and also getting into daylight saving. So I'm out with the sunlight for doing the cameraage. Yeah. So basically when we do this, we should put it right up to the level, then we put the water through it. It will sink down to a certain level, and that's when we put the... It's a long time since I've... Oh yeah, well, when was the last time I did a double flush? I think... Yeah. It was the pandemic, I think. Yeah. So... before I went to Tasmania, I can't remember, 2020, I mean. Yeah, so forgive me for forgetting that basic step there of, I thought I could take you through the whole process because otherwise it'd be a short vid, And some people like the longer ones. Pity we haven't got the sunlight on the sand though, like we had before, but anyway. So, just take the bag, but as I said, it's not it's not quite as fine as it used to be, and it's got a bit too much iron in there. But our ashen layer should get rid of that. Should dissolve that out fairly rapidly, and once we've got plants up, we can dig them up in the future, and you'll be surprised that this will go nice. The whole of this sand will wash out, and it'll be just as sparkling white as it is over in WA in certain areas. Just as sparkling white as it is in round pine plantation. So yeah, but yeah. So all that mono doing his thing with his pine needles, well, yeah, but it's really innate to get to actually formulate your ashen layer from your high lignin content. As I said, if you're into this back to Eden and trying to do, terra preta with your charcoal and things like that, first of all, to make activated charcoal or carbon, you need to put the red hot coals into water so that the steam blows through all those interstices, I think. And that's one thing, when you go to these places, they have all this activated charcoal. They never tell you that, how easy it is to make activated charcoal carbon, and they're charging you the earth for it. Yeah. A bit like, I think, the White Sox Sour guys. I think basically their selling of the perlite is their bread and butter money, which runs the nursery. So basically when you buy the plants, that's all free money for them, is the plants, whereas the nursery cost is all taken over by selling the perlite and the ancillary stuff, but basically perlite is basically the expensive sand in a way, so that's why I'm using this cheap. This bag here with sand, it's getting to about the $10 mark now. It used to be like $6 before the pandemic, but it's getting up to the $10 mark for this sort of thing. And before the pandemic and all the plandemic, the Weffer-thin Klaus Schwab plandemic, a bloke who's had his accent taken off by Peter Sellers, you wonder why, and Terry Nation has probably based his Davros character on Klaus Schwab. What are the odds that that could happen to the one person? Your accent and your attitude is taken up by these people. But I always think the best Doctor Who series is the Genesis of the Daleks. I didn't quite think of it at the time, but I think I don't think you got a better Davros in that series. Probably because of getting older in the later ones they did. But anyway, So that basically that's what we do. We put it up to the surface here, and then we're going to put our little thing on there, and we're going to wash it through. And yeah. So what was I going to say? Oh yes, the other thing. I know I must be a slow learner, but the other night I suddenly realised that there are no female Daleks. I'm nearly 60, and suddenly it just came to me like a lightning bolt that there aren't any female Daleks. That's why they're so angry. So if we slowly put this through here, slowly, yeah, I know. I'm trying to hold the camera and do this at the same time, and you can slowly put this around, and when you get to a certain level, usually 100 counts, but you know, it will suddenly sink down, and you know, we'll do this slowly. 3, 4, 7, 8, 12, 13, 8, 1, 2, 3, 60, 61, 62, 63, 70, 73, 75, 76, 78, 79, 80, 81, 2, 83, 85, 7, 88, 90, 91, 100, whoa, it's getting there, oh. Yeah, close to it. 6, 10, 11, 18, 19, 2, 3, 24, 25, 27, 35, 39, 40, 41, 46, 48, 49, 50. Okay, it's starting to drip out the bottom now. So let's give it a bit of, there we go. We give it a bit of a tap down. And yep, no sand grains coming out, just the water into. Anyway, so we might just try and level this while we're doing it at the same time, sort of thing. Put this down. I don't know what we can do. I think we need to find another one of those. Whatever. Find another one of these, I think. And put it in like that, as you do. And we're basically level. And we just let that drip out down there, and we should be fine to go, sort of thing. So we've got that sort of depth of there. I think that's a bit deep, what we got, so we might put a bit more in. Just the dregs of the bag, I suppose. If you can get that. The dregs of the bag, and just give it another push down. Basically, there we go. That will settle it down, sort of thing. Yeah, old skills. I've been there and done that. I've done it. Bought the t-shirt, almost written a book, I think, on this stuff. So you know, that should be about the depth you want, because when we put that on, it'll put up about half an inch layer, I reckon. It will probably slowly go down over time, but yeah. So we let that drip out, and then we'll put this back in, and we'll put our Ashen layer on there, the salt that doesn't burn, basically. God, I wish that would speed up. But then when it gets to a dripping level, see if you can get it to will it get to a 1 drip per second count once it gets through. Let's see. That means if it doesn't, then the sand grain's a bit too big. I think it is a bit too big anyway. You can just tell that just by the look of it. And I think that's what that sound is telling me. I think the fineness of the sand is just not quite right. Oh, this one's gone down too, so we can start double flushing that one now. So basically we'll just fill it up to the edge and let it drain through. So I'll do that in a minute, just to get this one done, and then we'll give this a good old shake, as you do. Just get it prepared, so there's no... Okay, now is it going to start dripping thing? Yeah, no. Come on. We want it to stop and get dripping to like 1 drip per second. Come on. Come on. Here we go. It's going to get there, I think. You want a good, but usually if you can get to a drip rate of 1 drip per second sort of thing, that's a good one. But we'll see how we go. We'll stick this on and see how we go. As I said, the idea is to eventually get some plants in here and see how we go with that. And it doesn't look quite level. We may actually have to use the other one in a minute. So let me just get this out of the way, and we may actually have to go to this one. These do actually plonk down in the warmth, so when we get to the warmer days, as I said, we're going into daylight saving, so yeah, let's just give it another good shake up sort of thing, make sure nothing is too stickable, and hopefully some of that will go through. It doesn't run over the edge, and then it'll go through, and hopefully what we can do, since it's all the same formula and everything, we can start double flushing this one in the intervening time sort of thing. So we'll just fill this up, and I don't think it's going to come right through straight away, as I said, because we made this big fundamental mistake, a rookie mistake, gas bagging too much and also going into daylight saving. So that will go through and then hopefully start dripping, but of course it has to wet the sand first of all to be able to do that. Oh, here you go. What sort of... it's a bit fast. Little bit fast, but then again over time as the sand grains knit together and the microbes start happening in the soil. Yeah. Anyway, come back tomorrow. We'll give it a few double flushes and then we'll stick some plants in and see what happens. Of course, it shouldn't burn the plants. As we said, we've learned that already. So... yeah, that'll be it. So hopefully we'll put some of these in, and the old stuff from Cypress Island, the false dandelion, the true dandelion, and see how quickly we can get them going. And when we come into a flytrap season, if there is a flytrap season this year, we might chuck a few of those in and see if we can get that look that they get in the wild, because the lass from California Carnivals went there recently, and she made this funny statement that the stuff in the soil is washed down by the rain or something. So I'm thinking, well, there can't be nutrient poor soil then if the rain is washing away the nutrients or something. I mean, yeah, I think there's a lot of bullshit out there, fellas. I think this is going to be, I think this is it. This is the end of the 50-year journey. We're actually going to double flush this inorganic, totally mineral sand and that totally mineral soil, and we're going to get some amazing growth very quickly, and it's just going to keep getting better and better, because I think this is going to be the basis of humus build up in the soil basically. So my suggestion to you, if you're into this back to Eden and all this terra preta stuff, is you want to get some nice small sized bark chips or milled bark chips, put in. As I said, it only has to be enough to cover the surface of the soil so it doesn't get scoured by the rain, and then just double water it basically. And if you want to know when to do the double flush on an open ground system, you put a cup there, and when the cup is drained through, like the bucket is drained through, that's the time to put the second watering on, you see. So that's how you can work out when to do the second watering if you're doing it on a landscape level sort of thing. So anyway, I just thought I'd give you that idea. You might want to get out there with your bark chips and sort of thing, your highly lignified material, and take back to Eden to the level where I think it should actually be in generating humus in the soil very rapidly. None of this 2,000 to 3,000 years to generate really good humus. I reckon you can do a lot faster than that when you get the microbes working properly and in your favour sort of thing. But anyway, there we go. That's starting to drip a bit better now. As the things are starting to, probably find it's starting to happen already. But yeah, that's a good drip rate. Yeah, as I said, the idea is 1 drip per second, which is like a 2 count. 1, 2 drip, 3, 4 drip, 5, 6 drips sort of thing. When you're counting normally 1, 2, 3, 4, the normal heartbeat sort of rate count that most people naturally do sort of thing. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm pretending to mean sort of thing. But yeah. Anyway, that's enough of me gas bagging. We'll come back over the next few days and watch things develop. And I think you're going to get a bit of a surprise out of this. It was the only step forward this past season basically, and everything beyond that is done the 1 step, 2 step backwards. And I thought, yeah, that's it. That means we've basically, this is it. You can't go any further than double flushing this basically. I think so. Yeah, totally mineral soil, and I think you're going to get a big. In other words, this white ashen layer is basically replacing your peat. So when they talk about making a peat substitute, this is it. That's what I'm saying. This is going to be your, because as I said from that stuff about the tomatoes, they're growing tomatoes in peat basically, and if you can amend non-peat substitutes with a few slowly released pellet, what does that say about peat? It must naturally have the slow release stuff in it, which means it's not a nutrient poor organic medium. Do you understand that? That's the key signal that it's all bullshit. The whole thing has been bullshit for 200 years basically. Someone made a big mistake, or this MPK business. It's they're just milking it basically, getting you to go down the shops and buy this and buy that, try and build your soil up when you don't have to do that. You could probably do that. If you did this on a landscape scale, you've got a basic ashen layer back to Eden sort of thing. You don't even need the bark chips. You just need this on a landscape scale with a few sprinklers, and you time it for when it theoretically stops dripping, and then you do the second water, and you do that 4, 5, 6 times a day, or if you're in a greenhouse you can do it even more times than that, and every time you water the double flush you're going to get some growth, because I think that's what it's all about, making your bloody humus and all the other stuff. You're just getting the microbes to work the right way for you when you want them to work for you. None of this we're working for them sort of thing. No, you're public servants. You're working for us, Either that, or it's behind the bike sheds and up against the wall. MOFO. I think that's where it's coming. These unelected bureaucrats. How can you vote them out if they're not elected? So how do you get rid of unelected officials? As I portrayed before, it's basically behind the bike sheds and up against the wall. I think that's what it's going to be. And you're just going to hear this bang, and everything's going to move on. I think Brussels is it. I think it's save the rest of the world. Just nuke Brussels, and everyone will breathe a sigh of relief. And suddenly you realise that they're just bullies, basically. They're just bullying the whole bloody world, and they're all unelected, unaccountable. Money going into Ukraine like it's a bloody black hole out of one of those Doctor Who episodes. Things in our real world, our planet, being sucked off to somewhere else. It's like through a black hole, like a Doctor Who. It's like that Doctor Who episode, basically. Suddenly things are just vanishing from your daily life through this time portal into this black hole. And I think that's what Ukraine basically is. It's a bloody scam time porthole, basically. And what are we going to find when we really find out what's been going on in Ukraine? What would Alexander the Great do? Exactly what he always does, because his pet peeve was always liars, because they always divide resources and a whole heap. You can't trust. They imbue distrust in your men and everything, and you can't count on anything, you can't plan anything. So he used to just put a saw through them whenever he found a purposeful liar, actively, purposely lying on purpose for gain. He used to just put a saw through them and look him in the eyes. He did it. I mean, I think that's where we're heading, basically. That's where this is all going. After this cold winter, people will be taking these people behind the bike sheds themselves and putting them up against the wall, As long as you yell traitor before you do it, then it's fine, I reckon. I think, isn't that the rules?